Hello, Barmy Badger Army. Welcome to today's show. Hope you're all well, guys. If you're new to this channel, this is an entertainment channel where we do vlogs, videos, long form content. We do shorts, we create our own films, and we do the odd occasional live stream here and there of games and chat. Today, we're going to be reviewing the 2024 film that's just come out on video on demand, Drained.
2025 film.
It was made in 2024.
It's released 2025, so it counts as 2025.
That's not what it says on IMDb.
That is.
Okay, well, it was made in 2024, come out in 2025. Anyway. Oh dear. Regulars of the show will know the missus likes to co-host and pipe in every now and again.
It does actually say 2024. Everywhere else it says 2025.
Right. This is a minute's worth of footage. Right. It was made in 2024, come out 2025. Right. Film Drained. Right, okay, now, this is directed by Sean Cronin and Peter Stelianov and starring Rudy Aldrington and Madalena Belleroux and myself in the background, but that's another story for another time. Now,
and Nick,
and the lovely Nick Field, but he is actually uncredited. So, but that was his decision. That's up to him. But yes, this is about an unemployed artist who starts having weird and wonderful visions of vampire seductive ladies and starts drawing them in his house with his mum. Now, eventually, this sort of succumbs to a thing. He becomes very disjointed with the real life and just sort of stays in his room all the time. And eventually, he decides to pick up the courage, go out and visit his friends again, and sort of start his life again. And that's when he meets a seductive female vampire at the club. And the rest of the story falls and goes up and down, as it were. Now, this is a very good film, and it goes along the style of a 90s horror. And if you're unsure of that, you're looking at Dracula 2000, you're looking at some sort of like late Hammer films, you're looking at sort of I Know What You Did Last Summer sort of style, and of course, you know, many other sort of vampire sort of horror films along that sort of age. You're looking at, Queen of the Damned, all that sort of stuff, where it's sort of gritty but very clean at the same time, and also has a very good soundtrack to it and some nice little jump scares. Now, this film has a rather large amount of British comedy into it, where it verges on being a horror comedy, but not quite. There's just enough British sarcasm and humour there to keep you amused if you're not really a horror fan, which I think is great. It's always good when a film can cross genre and have a little bit of comedy, a little bit of seriousness, and a little bit of scares. You know, I always have this complaint about the Marvel films now where there's too much comedy, not enough action and thriller. Well, I feel that Drained gets the mix just right, where you get comedy, horror, and a bit of spooks. There's some great jump scares in there that really make me freak out and really kept me jumping. And there's one particular gory scene near the end that really freaked me out as well. And that is fantastic when you keep a lot of the scares till the end. I love it. And of course, the humour there with the interactions with the family and the new girlfriend is on on part, because it is hilarious. And it's weird because you sometimes forget what type of film you're watching with the interactions of the characters. It takes you a little while to remember what film you're watching because you get involved with the comedy side or you get involved with the horror side. And that's really good. It really sort of envelops you in. Yes. And the Queen of the Damned sort of homages are there, where you get the main character dancing in the club and there's sort of like fluorescent red lights and stuff. The club scenes are really well done, makes you believe you're in a really interesting British club, and of course the dancers and all the characters that were in there were very believable, and it was a really good scene. And that's not just me being biased, that I was in those club scenes. They were really well shot, and it made you feel like you were in a traditional British club. And of course, the pub decor in each of the scenes was really good. I really like the flat that he goes to live in. It just reminds me of an old school British sort of like posh-ish flat in London. And the same with the house. It reminds me of like a sort of a slightly ran down posh Essex house. And so, you know, the locations are very believable. The acting is very believable, very British in tone, and that really adds to the film, you know, because we've had this sort of style of film from America a lot of times, like Twilight and stuff, but we've not really had a British vampire film of this quality for quite some time. So it was nice to get something that was almost a breath of fresh air, but a homage to the older films in its genre as well. So there's a lot of mixture of those. And of course, we have the gritty police detectives. They were interesting characters to watch as well. But it would have been nice to have had that side of the storyline a bit more developed. You know, I think an extra 10 minutes here and there developing the storyline of the police hunting down the main characters and things like that would have been quite interesting. It did feel that the ending was slightly rushed in places, especially the last few scenes. They could have done with a bit more bulking out for me, not because of like storyline didn't make sense or anything, just because it would have been nice to have a bit more of the film, and it would have been nice to have it a bit more rounded off. I did enjoy the ending. I'm not going to spoil it for you, and everything sort of ties nicely together. You do get a nice ending, but it would have been nice to have a few more scenes explain a few more bits and pieces, especially in the insane asylum. That could have done with a few more minutes to flesh out that part of the storyline, and definitely the sort of criminal aspects of it as well. But overall, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was really fun to watch, especially as I was in the audience of the premiere, But, what? But I feel it was a fantastic watch. Kept me on my seat because I was looking for those fun jump scares. Kept me laughing because of the British side of the humour, and of course made me really sort of jump and love the gore scenes when they appeared. This film is a very limited budget, but it does what it does when it can do it, and I think that's fantastic. And it really goes to show that you can make a really good horror film on a limited budget. So I'm going to give this one a good solid 8.5 out of 10. My only qualm is that the ending could have been a bit longer to flesh out the storyline. That's my only qualm, and I look forward to hearing what you think about Drained and your thoughts on it in the comments. Let me know if you've seen this film yet, and let me know what you think, guys. Lovely to hear from you. Please do tell me your thoughts on today's video as well, and I'll see you next time. Bye!